All right, guys, good morning, good morning, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Bob Baker back in my studio for another video here. Day is going good. I've got work lined up today. I've got a script I'm going to be working on for Vostok Games, who's out of the Ukraine, and they make the game called Sovarium. So I know some people are waiting anxiously for their next update. I've been working with these guys for probably about 2 years now, and I love doing this stuff. So, okay, what's the intent of this video today? The intent of this video today is basically, and I'm going to tell you, I am a beginner, okay, a beginner / novice, whatever, but who has done work since January of this year. I'm at about 20 clients and have done pretty well in this short time. I'm working on my third book right now. So I want to give you some feedback. Basically, if I can do this, you can do this. Is what I want. This is the gist of this video, and I'm going to try to tell you quickly what I did to get where I'm at right now, and my kind of future plans as I continue to push forward in this industry. So, first thing is, if this interests you, you're going to have it's work. Okay, don't think this is like some glorious little thing you sit around and just kind of do when you want to. If you're serious about it, it is work. But if you like it, of course, it doesn't feel like work. I'm having a good time. So I'm sitting here in my booth, and how did I get to this point that, 20 clients, in about 3 months, 3 books? How did I get to this point? And I'll first say, you don't have to have like an amazing voice, I think, nowadays in this business. You can train this instrument. There's some things you can do to make it even better. You can do things with your mic, your sound, your process chain, all those things to make your voice sound better. But I'm going to share you what I do to try to get these clients. And it's not, the voice plays a part, obviously, but there's a lot more to it than that. All right, so we're going to start out. First of all, you don't need a booth like I'm in right now to get started. This is what I started out in, okay? It cost me, I don't know, $50 maybe. Before I had this Blue Yeti Pro, which is about, I don't know, $250, maybe around there. This is a good mic. It gets the job done. Eventually I get a better mic, yes, but it gets the job done. I've gotten gigs with this, right? But I had a cheaper mic before this than I was using. But one thing I would say, definitely you're going to want to get yourself a decent mic, a condenser mic for voice work, okay? So to get online, do your homework, look at condenser mics. There's a wide range from cheaper to more expensive. But again, this is about $250, and I think it sounds pretty good, and it's got me jobs. So that's the first thing. But the other thing is, I just went to thrift stores. I bought a bunch of blankets. I'm talking like other people's blankets, right? I'm talking cheap. And when I did some recordings, I would just drape the blankets over my head, over the microphone, and I'd be inside this cocoon with my phone, reading the script under the blanket like this, and doing my recording that way. And then program-wise, all you need, you don't have to pay for a program, but let me bring it up here. It's free, and it's called Audacity. Great program that you can come in here and just download it, and you can use, simple to use, get you started. It's free. And I've gotten gigs, I've done jobs with Audacity. Simple as that. I think I'm going to show you too is, you can do the blanket. What I did is I built a booth with just 2x4s. If you've got your husband around or your son or maybe, if, no insult to women, maybe you like to build basically a box frame and then just tack up all these blankets around it, so that inside you don't have a lot of echo. Now, it's not going to keep sounds coming from the inside. Not sounds from the outside getting to the inside. It's not going to do that. But it will help with the acoustics on the inside. And until, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month, I wasn't in this booth. I was in the blanket box. And it got me gigs, okay? So you could do that, and that's cheap. While I was doing that and getting gigs and making money, I was reinvesting in the, quote, business, by buying the supplies, starting to build this new booth. And I'm going to talk about this new booth here, because if I could build it, you can build this, or have somebody, your friend or whatever, build it for you. And I'm going to tell you how I did that. Okay, so the places you're going to start out, this is what I did. I'm just sharing what I did. And, is places like Upwork. So there's a thing called Upwork. There's like Voices 1, 2, 3. there's freelancer, there's people per hour. There's all these basically pay-to-play freelance sites that you can come here, create a profile. And the thing I advise you is to create a good profile. At first you may have no gigs. I had none. So what you do is when you come in these places, right, is you look at these jobs and you try to find ones that look interesting to you, that look like, especially some that are looking for a quick turnaround time. I'm always monitoring this job list on my phone. I sleep with this thing. And I'm always looking at it, probably way too much, to see when jobs are popping up. And when you see things like required urgent, I jump on those. I try to get in right away, get something in there, and get my voice in there. And that has paid off. The other thing you can do in these sites, and it hurts at first, is to build up your profile when you bid on these jobs, right? Like here's a West Coast American voice for animation. Let's pull this up. And one thing is just some tips here. I really look at what it is they're looking for. Looking for a West Coast California style voiceover. So right away I think West Coast dude, kind of laid back, West Coast, more of a laid back feel kind of thing, right? And I happen to live on the West Coast 25 years, so that probably would help. But let me find another one here, one that gives a little more information. Let's see here. Oh, here's one I applied for. Voiceover needed, friendly, professional, authority-sounding explainer video. Now, my voice lends itself to this kind of, authoritative sound. So you get in here and you look at these. What happens on like sites like this is they give you almost these tickets or coins or whatever you want to call it. But they've got a name for it. Let's see. It'll probably say it for me down here somewhere. I applied for this job. I already applied for it. But basically, they give you a free amount of these tickets, coins, whatever you want to call it, that allows you to bid on jobs. At some point, you're going to run out. And it's cost you a couple bucks to buy more. That's how they make money. They also make money is when you get the gig, when it closes out, they'll take a percentage of your earnings, at least on Upwork does. All the different sites have kind of different policies on what they do. Voice 123, ideally you want to get on this once you get going, but this is going to be an annual membership. It's a couple $100, so that definitely is more expensive, but could be more lucrative and could get you where you're going. But this is just starting out. This is an easy way to do it right here. So you come in here, and we have an animated video that is a corporate promotion for an exciting new technology. I am looking for professional voiceover talent that can put the words to the movie. The movie is almost complete. You can see the current version here. So they allow you to watch the video, okay? And I love when they attach the script. I'll tell you why. So they've attached the script. And it says, I prefer that you do your own sound editing for breaths and cuts, which is called mastering. So there's the recording, and then there's the mastering of the file afterwards, right? But they also say I can also take the raw cut. And what I do on these jobs is I try to stand out with my voice, with the reading, but also that I've showed interest in what they're doing. So when you put in your bid, basically, you're going to be allowed to bid with how much you'll do the job for. So the first thing, starting out to get that profile going, is to go in low. It's going to hurt you. Is to, this is what I did, and again, do what you're going to do. I'm just telling you what worked for me, is if the budget was $250, maybe I looked at how much work it was, I got an idea, and I said, okay, you know what, I'll do it for $50, just to try to get the job, and then once you get the job, then obviously you want to kick butt and do a great job for the client, no matter what it takes, no matter how many retakes, whatever, and it will feel like they're taking advantage of you, it could. But to me, that's what you got to do at the start. You got to grind it. And I did that and basically built up enough clients that left great reviews on my profile that when later, now like this one, I bid $250 because when they go look at my profile, they're like, this guy is reliable. He does high quality work. But a lot of those jobs I did for pennies, okay, to build up my portfolio. Okay, and as you start getting built up, then you can start bidding higher. And I would encourage you, once you build it, bid. If they say $250, go for the $250. That's what their budget is. Go for it. once you've built up a good profile, okay? Because clients are going to leave feedback. They're going to rank you. And the higher you're ranked, the better you're doing, the better it looks when you approach these clients. So again, when you're reading this stuff, I really do my homework. So if they leave a website or something, I actually will go to their website. I will look at their website. I will get a sense of what they're looking for because sometimes they don't say exactly. I will even then take their script and I will read a partial reading of that script. I've even have gone as far as sticking my voice over onto their video. Like they give you a promotional video. I'll actually silence their video and stick my voice over it and do a video and send it to them. And it sounds like a lot of work, but you got to do that. You got to hustle to try to get the job. I recently got a job for kind of a self-help book. I mean, it's a $1,500 gig, which is $1,500 to do a $70,000 book. I'm totally ecstatic about that. And part of it was I had just really put together, good description of who I was. I geared the actual demo towards that kind of book. All of that, conversational sound, trustworthy, all of those things. So if you go on these sites, you're going to have to hustle. But I would say if you do your homework, really see what they want, read every word and what they're looking for. And if you can get out ahead of the client. So like I prefer that you do your own sound editing for breasts and cuts. I can also take the raw cuts. So, if you want to fit in with the rest, they're going to say, well, you could say to them, want to save yourself time. I'll give you a raw file or whatever. That's great. But what's going to stand out is when you say, not only am I going to do a great recording for you, hey man, I am going to give you a professionally mastered recording. No breaths, no pops, no yada yada, no screams in the background. It is going to be top quality. And you can do that in Audacity, but you got to do your homework. Now, there is a lot of resources. What I did is I had no clue what I was doing. I mean, I had been doing recordings, but to be honest, they sucked. When I learned what I know now, and I got a lot more to learn still, you're going to go on places and say, pay this, pay that, pay. You don't need to. Everything you need is on the internet free. Between YouTube, Google, whatever, there are all kinds of resources out there that are going to show you how to record in Audacity, how to edit a file, how to get the right sound, it's out there. Now, do you have to work for it? Yes, you do, but it is out there. Now, I started with Audacity, but now I am using Adobe Audition CC 2017. This is a monthly rate of, I think, like 20. I'm clipping like a crazy man right now. I turn my gain. See, this is the stuff you learn. Like I'm clipping right now. I can see that over there, and that's definitely not. You don't want this. You see this clipping up here? Not a good thing. But for this, it doesn't really matter for me. But you're going to have to learn this stuff. About the mic and how to edit a file and all of that. And is there a learning curve there? It definitely is a learning curve, but you got to want it. You got to want to come in here and know how to use these programs to get a good quality result, but you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. Okay, so another thing is audiobooks. There's a lot of work out there. That's the other thing is when you come into these places, these different places, what I would suggest is don't be picky. I have done jobs for $5. I have done from video games to commercials to you name it, all over the place, from voicemail. If you want to really get this going, apply for as much as you can. And one of them is audiobooks. And this at first to me was intimidating. And these are called ACX standards. And this is what you're going to see when you have people post for a job, normally for an audiobook. Here's one of the books I did. True Ghost Stories, Real Haunted Ouija Boards. You can see my name is, let's do Audible here, right there. Bob Baker is, they're going to want this in ACX standards. And when I first saw this, I was scared to death because I started to read all the things that you have to do to meet this standard. And I had no clue. But I went through each of these basically, and I did searches on Google, YouTube to find out how to achieve the standard. And to be honest, most of these are givens anyway. That they're going to be easy to do anyway. The ones that become a challenge, okay, and I'll show you in another, I'm recording. I can't stop. But I would show you in another one if I could. But basically, you will learn things like the sound floor. Has to be minus 6 dB or lower. You can achieve that. I did that in my blanket booth. I did it. You can do it. And if not, you can do some noise reduction stuff to kind of get that floor down. The other thing is, one of the big ones in here is the volume of the actual recording. It has to average between minus 23 dB and minus 18 dB. At first, I thought I had no clue how to do this. No clue at all. And max peaks at minus 3 dB, and there's that maximum minus 60 dB noise. I had no clue how to do that. But through enough research and trial and error and working on my own files, I figured out once you got it, I'll tell you what, it's actually really easy. It's really easy to achieve these standards once you get one under your belt. And so this is another avenue. There's a lot of books you can do out there, and they're fun to do, and they'll pay you money. Now, first, some of these ones, especially like Upworks, they're not going to pay you what you deserve probably to do a book, but you can get a couple under your belt, and then you can start asking for money, more money for these books. So that's what I did just to get going again, just to get started. And again, there's a whole bunch, and these are just examples of ones out there. And there are a lot more. I do like Upworks, I would say, is more like I say sweatshop. I mean, there's a lot of, some are scams, some are real. So you got to be careful about that. But, you know, I've gotten a bunch of clients here, and I've gotten work and made money. This is my next, I'll say, expansion of my work is going to head over to Voice 123 and, you know, pay for that fee, $200, and get going on this site as well. I'm assuming that the pay is going to be even better here. So you start to build up these gigs, these clients, and what happens is, you get repeat clients. You start getting repeat clients who then, once you do a great job for them, they send you a message. Hey, Bob, I got another script for you. Can you knock this one out? I'm on it. And if you're doing this, especially like me, full time, the other thing I really push with the clients is I'm on their time. So 24/7, whenever you need me, I've gotten up at 3 a.m. and done this stuff because I want them to feel like I'm a go-to guy. You know, they run into a pinch. Maybe the person they hired didn't get the job done and they need it done. Hey, well, that Bob guy, he'll do it like in a couple hours. Boom, I'm on it. I'll knock it out for them, and hopefully with good quality work. So that's it, guys. This was a long video. It went longer than I thought it was going to be. I apologize for that, but this was just to kind of say, this is how you can get going in this. You got to hustle. You got to do your research and homework. But if I did it in 3 months, just learning from the internet, learning how to apply for jobs at these places, you know, how to set up equipment, eventually building my own booth, which is not the prettiest looking thing, especially on the outside, but it gets the job done. I am getting jobs in this situation. And part of it is the money you're making is reinvesting back into the business, just like any business. So, you know, eventually I will upgrade this mic. I've got some dream mics I want to get. The soundboard, you know, all of these things at some point I will upgrade over time, but it's working for now. So that's it, guys. I got to get to work now, real work, and that's going to be on this script for a game, but also I'm working on a book today, a third book, which is going to be a lot of fun. I wish you guys the best. Post your questions below. You know, if you got questions, you're thinking about doing this, I will help you because it's fresh in my mind. And again, I am like at the tip of the iceberg. There's so much to learn about this business, but you can do it with hard work and some just rolling up the sleeves and getting dirty and just jumping in. Cheers, peace. I wish you an awesome day.